Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome back to my channel, Manifest with Kavitha. And today, from the title, you must have guessed, I'm going to talk about 6 ways you could heal yourself from any kind of relationship, any kind of breakup, any kind of hardships that you've been going through in a relationship after a very rough patch. And these are coming from my own personal experiences that I have been going through, and I just wanted to share it with everyone, thinking that it is something that we all, at some point in life, we must be thinking, why should I listen to it? I'm in a very loving relationship currently, or something like that. But if not you, there could be someone you know, a friend, or someone very close to you, or a colleague who is going through this rough phase. And maybe just knowing this, you could just help that person evolve and grow from that phase where we don't know how to deal with it. Because the whole point is we start to think about how to deal with the situation, whereas what's needed is we need to heal in such a situation. And it could be like, maybe whoever is listening to this, you could have just had a breakup like a month or two back. It's been a year, maybe a few months, a few years, or maybe you've never experienced it. But a breakup is not just between two partners. It could also be friends, it could also be something to do with family. Any kind of relationship that we part ways with affects us, and it's always good to know how we can heal in such conditions. Because when these things happen, what happens is we start to question ourselves. There is self-doubt, our self-worth starts to decrease, we lose our confidence, and we really don't know how to cope up with these situations, because such situations are for us to heal and grow with, and nobody else can help us. They can advise, but to come out of that situation, only we can do it. And that's why it's important that we follow, or at least are aware of things that can really help us, rather than going down in a spiral wave where we don't know how to go about it. The few reasons that come to my mind with when we talk of breakup could be, one is cheating. You find your partner cheating on someone, and that comes really unexpected, because again, you are starting to question yourself, because why did that partner cheat on me? You are starting to question your self-worth. Did I do something wrong? Did I not make that person feel comfortable? Why did that person have to go to someone else when I loved that person so unconditionally? So you start to go through all those kind of questions in your head. The second that I've faced quite a bit is a person loses interest just suddenly. That person loses interest and doesn't want to be with you, and no questions. There's no space for questions, no space for answers to be given. You're just lost, and you don't know why that happened. It's very sudden, and that kind of breakup is kind of very hard to get over with, I would say. And the third is just distance, which comes between two partners, and we just start to grow apart from that person. And again, you can start thinking, oh, that we have at distance and that person doesn't want to be with me anymore, maybe because he or she has found someone else. But when you're at a distance, you start to realize a lot more about your own self, and you start to analyze things differently, and even that plays a major role. So these are the three things that could lead to a breakup. That is something that I can think of. And when we are suddenly put into such a situation, there are three things that we naturally do. One is we start talking very negatively about that person just to get over it. That's how we naturally respond as humans. We start to either talk very negatively about that person and to every person that you come across, you start negatively talking about that person, just to think that if I do that, I would get over that person, because there's so much hatred I'm putting into that person, or that whole concept of being in that relationship, that you forget that you are becoming negative with this whole carrying that energy with you. Because when you spit out that negative energy, you're continually consumed in that energy. That's what is happening with you. So that is another issue that I can think of, and like the thing how we respond. The second is we accept that, oh, we love that person, and just try to let go. But in that case, that is also a short-term solution that we get. So how do you get over it? Because as soon as that person comes in front of you, you might rebound and you're like, oh no, I still have feelings, now what do I do? That is again a short-term thing that we can short-term hack. The next thing that we do is we try to distract our mind. We try to do things totally different from what we have been currently doing, and we just keep doing those things, and we think, okay, doing these things will make me feel happy, make me feel confident, and all of that. And that is again a short-term hack, right? So these things are the things that we see others do, and we think this is something that is going to help me also if I'm going through something similar. But these are all short-lived, not a long-term not a long-term, I can't find the word, long-term solution. Yeah, it's not a long-term solution. So the 6 or like not 6 plus 7, so the 7 secrets I had to share, or hacks that I had to share, were: the first and foremost is feel every emotion. It is important that you feel every emotion that comes to you when you are in that situation. Because when you feel it, you know that these were the things that made you feel happy or made you feel sad, or these were the things that you really need to work on. If you can spend time with yourself, or you just start writing or speaking to yourself, record yourself, hear out what the problem was. Because when you start hearing yourself more and more, or reading what you have written, you would realize what the issue actually was, what it was that caused this to happen. And what that would help is, why that would help is because you learn from it. You learn, and gradually you can, when next time you are, and these are things that will help you with any kind of relationship, right? Because when you split from a person, if you know what the issue was and you learn from that mistake, you can implement a better solution the next time. You can become a better you can have a better approach towards that relationship. So the second hack, like, it just continues from the first one. You learn from those emotions, and then you learn from the situation. You feel you feel the emotion, and you learn from those situations. So the next time you are more aware of not repeating the same kind of mistakes that you might have done. It's not mistakes, it's just something that you felt like doing in that particular situation, or you were doing it repeatedly. Because if you don't break the pattern, it's going to be difficult to come out of it. Then then that leads to the third hack, is feeling the emotion. You learned from your mistakes, but what you learn is that you were expecting a lot. Like, you keep expecting a lot from this person, or you expect a lot from this relationship. Like, how many of you have ever been in a relationship, or you've known a person that has just gotten into a relationship and suddenly disappears from your life, like, because that person is trying to spend all the time in this new relationship and doesn't have time for friends or to be the same person anymore, or just being consumed with one friend or just being consumed with the new co-workers. So those are kind of things that we tend to do when we are in a relationship, and we expect that person to fulfill every aspect of our life. So what we need to do is, when you realize those expectations that you had, and when you have this time off from this relationship that you've broken up with, now you need to realize that one person cannot fill every position that you want. That one person cannot be your mother, your father, your brother, your friend, everything. Is your partner, that person is your partner. Treat that person as your partner. And in this phase, when you're healing, find other people who can fill those positions for you, so that you're not expecting too much from one person, and you have other people to go to when you need. Because that is what has happened. Because when you see the difference between what you were expecting, and all these expectations, where did this come from? It's all from our own thinking. And where did this thinking come from? It was coming from movies, cinemas, ads, all of those kind of things, where they show that this is how a perfect relationship is, and this is how a relationship should be like. And you start expecting that person to do what that hero in the movie might be doing, like an actor in the movie might be doing, and that something, an advertisement showed, oh, this is lovely, and I want that in my life. So that kind of feeling. And that's where this expectation comes in, and that's a pattern that we need to break. The fourth is understanding that there is always a difference. We think that people who are of a same age, because when we talk about relationship, we always talk about the person's physical age. Oh, you are 2 years older than him. Oh, you're 10 years older than him. Oh, you are 5 years younger to that person. Oh, how is this working? Like those kind of, when you talk about age, the difference, we always talk about the physical age. But what we need to understand is that if that person may be of your same age, but not be as emotionally aged as you are, or maybe you are not emotionally matched to that person, and that's why you start having these differences. These differences come in because you're not emotionally matched. That's the reason. That's the whole reason why we say, oh, you don't understand me. Oh, you don't even understand me like that person does. Or why does that difference come in? Because probably that person, you're saying that person can understand you better, is because that person might be of the same emotional age, mental age. Like they have seen or experienced so many things that they can relate to you. But whereas this person whom you are with needs to grow more, or maybe you need to grow more to reach to that level, right? So again, there is this factor of difference coming in. And then the fifth would be dependency, right? Because what happens is, when you are so involved in a relationship, we are so dependent on that person. We become so very invested in that person that we start to think that nothing is possible without that person, whereas everything is possible because you should be dependent only on you, nobody else. Nobody else matters in a relationship more than you. And you being so dependent, and suddenly that person is out of your life, you feel shattered. You're like, how do I go ahead from here? Whereas even when you are in a relationship, the core thing that you should remember is, you don't need someone to make you happy. You should be you to make yourself happy. Because if you can't keep yourself happy, don't expect anybody else to keep you happy. So that dependency should not be on anyone, should be on your own self, because nobody can take you away from yourself. A person might walk out, but you cannot walk out on yourself. So that feeling of dependency, when you recognize that and you start working on it, that's where everything start to change. And the sixth one is take your time. Take your time to enter the next relationship. Because what we do is we think like, okay, that person left me, now I need to find someone. The problem is like that we start to rebound and we like, okay, no, we need to find someone. And what happens is we try to put the next person with all the same burden that we left that the previous relationship with. We come into this relationship with the same burden, and we bleed all that out into this person. And then that doesn't work, and then that person fails in this relationship, and then that ends, and it becomes a continual cycle. And that's what you need to do. Break the pattern. Take time out. When you are in such a situation, it is the best time to focus on yourself. The best time to focus on yourself. And once you start to make that space for yourself and start feeling that, oh, these are the things that I really wanted. These are the things that I should be doing. When like these situations arise in my life, I was also in the same situation where I thought my life was an end and there would be nothing that I could do. But then when I took time out, I realized I had much more to achieve in life. I built a career for myself. Like I realized being in a relationship was not the end of the world for me. Not being in a relationship or being in a relationship didn't mean the world to me at that point. I wanted to find myself. I wanted to become so independent that next time I face something like this, I wouldn't shatter. And that's what we need to do. Take that time out to build our own self and making sure that we don't repeat these patterns. Because everything can be carried forward. And that brings me to the last and the most important hack, that everything carries a memory. Everything carries a memory. Like how many of you can remember how your great grandfather or grandmother looked like? But there might be someone who comes from the family and tells you that, hey, you know what? You look like your great grandfather. I see this, look at this picture. So there is memory in your genes that is carried forward. There is memory in your memory. And it's up to you to decide what you want to carry forward when you leave the space. Do you want to... Your great-grandfather is not even alive now. So, but then that person has still left behind something that resembles you now. Right? So when you leave, what do you want to leave behind? Your conscious soul, your conscious mind, your subconscious mind, everything carries a memory. And if you're going to carry these patterns along the way, that's going to affect even more. Like it will carry forward in the next generations as well. You want that. That's why we take and make an effort to consciously heal ourselves and not deal with a situation like this. And that can help you grow in any kind of breakup. Like grow and evolve out of it. Because you don't want to feel this over and over again. Nobody wants to. Who wants to feel this feeling, right? Everybody wants to grow out of it. And feel, because you are love. You have all that in yourself. You just need to feel that love within yourself, be that love, heal yourself with that love that you have, and then be ready to give it to the next person you want to spend your life with. And once you've healed, there can be nothing that you can't achieve, because you have made yourself so strong, consciously built that effort to make that change, that nothing will matter to you anymore. Because you are stronger, you are bolder, you grow wiser, you kind of realize you are a warrior, and that's what you want to go ahead with. Because when you are wounded, when your body is wounded, it takes time out to heal. It's the same thing. It doesn't deal with that situation, it heals you. It's the same thing with your heart. We always say time can heal things. Time cannot heal if you are not ready to heal. We have to heal our own self, walking through all these 6 steps, the seven hacks that I give. The 7th one was a very bonus kind of thing, which is more towards how you heal your entire self. But the first 6 are a common pattern that we all can recognize. The 7th one, healing the memory, is something that we never think about. So, because we get so attached to those memories that we have, like it is so easy for us to just go back to that situation and be like, and feel that this is how that relationship made me feel, and this is what I want. But then, have you healed? Because then in the next person you're looking for the same thing. So recognize those patterns, see those patterns, these 6 steps, heal yourself, imbibe these practices. I'm not saying that you should keep going through breakups over and over again, or have sour relationships, but these healing hacks can help you with any relationship that you might feel a bit estranged with. So I hope these hacks would definitely help you guys, and please let me know if it really did help you. Even like healing past relationships where we think, oh, everything is done, but now when you go back and think, have you completely healed from it? Are you repeating those same mistakes? So those are the few things I wanted to share, and hope you find value in these few hacks that I shared. And with that, I will end my video today, and I will see you guys in my next video. Until then, continue healing and continue to inspire people, and I'll see you in my next video. And hey, don't forget to turn on the notification icon, because I'll come back with more such tidbits of inspiration to grow on this journey and make our minds think in the right direction. So that's all for Thoughtful Thursday, and I will see you guys in my next video. Until then, love and light.